Welcome to the Sisterhood of Healing podcast, the podcast that wants to help you reach your best and most divine potential. Each week, we dive into topics concerning inner healing, wellness, and spirituality. We discuss strategies and practice from our own personal experiences regarding higher energies, trauma, and connecting to the divine as we take you through our own personal journeys to discover the highest versions of ourselves. In combination with guest speakers, we bring you a comprehensive guide to mental and spiritual wellness and the ability to connect to yourself and the world around you on a deeper level. I'm Nicole, and I'm Christina, and we are two sisters who want to take you along on our spiritual and healing journey. We are each on our own individual healing and spiritual path and bring unique perspectives regarding yoga, chakra healing, meditation, intuition, and trauma healing. Sometimes life is messy, sometimes it's confusing, and sometimes everything falls perfectly into place. Join us as we navigate the path to divine enlightenment together. Go. Welcome, sisters and brothers and non-binary listeners. Welcome to episode 2 of Sisterhood of Healing. We're so excited to have you guys with us today. Today we're going to be having a discussion on what it means to be an empath. So Christina and I both identify as being empaths, and really what that means is taking on the energy of others. Yeah, and we did, as we were entering our healing journeys, this is really where we discovered what an empath was, discovered that we were empaths, and it really made everything make sense, I think. For me anyways, like how I would feel during situations, after situations, around certain people. I feel like it's really deeply connected into my intuition too. Yeah. Like reading people's energies and picking up on those energies within you and like how they manifest in your body. So yeah, it really has helped to make a lot of sense, and that's why we thought that this would be a really important second episode topic, because it's kind of like the base of understanding yourself. If you identify as an empath, or recognize that you identify as an empath, and then understand how that's impacting your body, I think it really helps to revolutionize how you understand yourself and how you interact with other people too. And so I think one of the most important things we should probably tell everyone is the difference between empathy and sympathy. And we all have experienced sympathy. And sympathy is when you can feel for someone else because you've experienced that feeling too. Empathy is when you're feeling for someone else when you haven't experienced that. And to be an empath means that you are picking up on other people's emotions. You are literally feeling what they are feeling, and it manifests in all types of different ways. Some people manifest physically with their stomach. Some people will physically pick up that person's pain. If they've got a headache, they'll pick up a headache. I don't have that, but they'll pick up their headache. With me, it's an energy thing. Like I'm always like I'm a very like energy quicker picker upper. Like I don't know. Yeah, no, I pick up energies. Like I'm all about the energy. So yeah. But that's kind of what you want to know with an empath and someone who's very, I guess, sensitive and in tune with the people around them and the energies around them and energies everywhere. Like we are all energy. So being more connected to the energy around you, I guess, makes you more connected to the world around you. Yeah, and the less you're connected to yourself, the less you're connected to the other energy around you. Which makes it hard for people to connect to others too. So, like, I have definitely been an empath my entire life, but like we had mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we're kind of just like realizing that, at least like in the last like 2 years, we're actually realizing that we are empaths. So today we're going to talk about Judith Orloff's book called The Empath's Survival Guide. And this has really been my Bible. I cherish this book so much. And as I read every page of it years ago, I felt like I started to understand myself more and more with every page.
And this is when I actually realized, like, oh, yes, I definitely am an empath. And it helped me realize why I felt certain ways my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea how to identify what I was feeling. I just knew I felt off in certain situations and never understood why.
I actually had the experience today. I haven't shared this with you yet, but I'll share it with you now and all of our listeners. I was at a group social event today, and there were maybe 30 of us there. And I'm generally a very, very social person, very outgoing, like to make conversation with a lot of different people. And so I was doing that at the social event, and then got into my car and just all of a sudden felt very overwhelmed and very sad. And I'm like, why? I just had a great time chatting with all these people. Like, why? And I realized it was just emotionally draining.
Yeah, taking on the energy.
Yeah. And I realized, like, over the years I felt like that, and would go home and kind of like maybe self-loathe sometimes, or critique, oh my gosh, did I do something wrong? And were people judging? It had absolutely nothing to do with that. Like, that's my ego sucking me in. Had nothing to do with that. It was all about just picking up on those energies and just, and being drained by it. So yeah, that was kind of this little realization that I had today, that I hadn't had that experience before, which is really interesting. So thought I'd share.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about Judith Orloff's self-assessment that she has in her book. So it's yes or no questions. So to get going with the first question, have I ever been labeled overly sensitive, shy, or introverted?
Overly sensitive, yes. Shy or introverted, no.
I think I've definitely been identified by those things. Yes.
Yeah. Shy, really?
Yeah, I think in terms of our relationship, and people meet you first and then meet me, they're like, oh, you're the shy one, you're the quiet one.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that's how we kind of grew up, but I wouldn't really see you as that anymore.
Yeah, maybe not anymore. Maybe you have
or you've been programmed to be social because of society.
Yeah, maybe I've just been forced to be more extroverted as I've aged. We identify with some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is, do I frequently get overwhelmed or anxious?
Guess I just did today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All the time. I would get overwhelmed and anxious over the tiniest things. If it's a Saturday and I have 5 things on my to-do list, I am so overwhelmed and anxious. And if I have an appointment to make, I am thinking about making that appointment on time and thinking about all the things I have to do leading up to that time.
I think sometimes I will and don't know why. And I'm like, okay, why? And now that I've gone into meditation, I have the mental tools to break down my emotions and my feelings and my feelings of overwhelm and anxiousness, and kind of look at where it's coming from. And sometimes it just comes upon me and I'll realize, oh yeah, I just came from the social situation, or this is what I was just doing, and I'm able to connect it back to that.
Yeah, no, now with meditation tools and breath work, I'm less anxious than I used to be.
Oh,
I'm able to just take a step back and okay, what is it that I'm actually feeling? Why am I feeling this? What can I do to not feel that way?
Yeah, and being able to recognize your emotions for anybody, but especially as an empath, is so important, because it really helps you to sift through and organize and identify what you're feeling. I think that's so important, is identify where it's coming from, because you know that it's not just coming on as a whim. I think that's such an important aspect to being an empath. Okay, let's read the next one here. So number 3, do I often feel like I don't fit in? I would say yes. I always felt like I don't fit in. And I'd say we're both pretty social. We've got pretty good social skills, I think. And I enjoy being in different groups of people. And sometimes I think, and this might be the Pisces in me, but sometimes I think that I'm a chameleon and I can talk to a wall. I can make conversation with a wall and have something in common with a wall. But I always felt like I didn't quite fit in no matter where I was. I'm like, okay, I enjoy being here, but I don't feel like I fit in. And I've had conversations. I've actually had a couple friends read this book and had conversations regarding this checklist. And a lot of them are like, yes, I don't feel like I fit in.
Yeah, I never felt like I fit in.
No, and I would never label those people as people that don't fit in or identify them as such, but they feel like that too.
Yeah, now as an adult, understanding more about myself and energies, I think I just always like was the person that took a step back and assessed the situation and the people around me. And I think that's why I never fit in. I guess I just didn't vibe with the energies around me.
I always felt like you were an old soul. Like you always seemed so much more mature than everyone else around you.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. I always felt more mature. I know it kind of sounds cocky, but
no,
I really did.
I saw that of you.
Yeah.
I remember saying that to you when you were 23. So 6 long years ago. I remember saying to you, you don't seem like the other kids your age.
No, definitely not. So the next one is, do crowds drain me and do I need alone time to revive myself? Yes.
Yes, and I'm realizing I do now. And I get like in concerts or if I have people like have a party or something, I feel energized by it, like with the people in the moment, like when it's a positive crowd, I feel very energized by it. But then the next day I definitely feel very drained because of it. And yeah, taking that alone time for myself is definitely really important.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like you mentioned concerts and it is energizing, but then when I come home, I'm feeling so drained because of the energy of all the people around me. And like having sleepovers was always so overwhelming as a child because it would just be like too much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Someone else's energy for too long.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it properly.
Yep. Interesting.
Do noise, odors, or nonstop talkers overwhelm me? For me, yes, noise. And the more that I become in tune with myself, the more sensitive I am to noise and odors as well.
I feel noise and odors don't bother me, but nonstop talkers overwhelm me. And I talk a lot, I think. But like the nonstop talkers, sometimes I do find myself like just needing to step away. And I am always concerned that I will offend, I guess, depending on the circumstance. But yeah, nonstop talkers definitely very overwhelming for me.
Yeah. So do I have chemical sensitivities or a low tolerance for scratchy clothes? No, not so much for myself. No, I can't say that I'm able to speak to that one or identify with that. Do I prefer taking my own car to places so that I can leave early if I need to?
Yes. And it's not even the needing to leave early because I never necessarily, I mean, it depends where it is. It's not necessarily because I want to leave early, but I just like my own space. Like because a car is a little box. I like being in my own space in that little box. And even when I was in university, people would always want to carpool. And I just liked driving like that 25 minutes to school and 25 minutes back. I enjoyed that solitude by myself, and I didn't like to carpool.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like my time in my car driving someplace is my time to mentally prepare myself for arrival wherever I'm going, and then I need to like decompress after when I get back into my car when I'm driving home.
Yeah, though that decompression is so important.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely one to take my own car to go places. Do I overeat to cope with stress?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think I can sometimes, but not always. Yeah, I don't know. I don't identify with that one too much, but yeah.
It's interesting that so far we have and have not identified with the same ones.
Yeah.
maybe we're just a product of our environment.
Yeah.
maybe we spent too much time together.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. Am I afraid of becoming suffocated by intimate relationships?
No.
No,
I don't think so,
like,
no.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I can speak to that.
I don't know that I've ever really pondered this. I think I have an appreciation for intimate relationships, because how can you have a strong relationship if you don't have intimacy with someone?
That's true. However, I think if you are someone who does get like suffocated or overwhelmed by intimate relationships, it's probably because you're spending so much time with that other person that you are taking on their energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense. And I think that's where understanding yourself and setting particular boundaries, like every evening after dinner, I need to go meditate.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important too. If you are an empath and you do feel suffocated by intimate relationships, it's important to recognize that. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of intimate relationships. It just means that you need to recognize what you need, and set those healthy boundaries. And sometimes it's something as simple as just, taking some quiet time by yourself, or going outside for a walk, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Do I startle easily? No, I know. I don't think I do.
No. People always try and scare me. Whenever someone tries to scare me, I just look at them and they're like, "Oh, you didn't even flinch." So,
well, like, I guess it depends.
I teach high school. Just try me. Nothing scares me.
I don't know. I can get scared in situations like that if someone's purposely trying to scare me, but I wouldn't say that I startle easily. Like, I'm not going to jump if, like, a pencil rolls off the table.
No.
So, do I react strongly to caffeine or medications? I don't react to medications, but I react to caffeine. At least I used to. Maybe I just drink too much coffee now. But yeah, I used to before. I could like feel my body shaking, like it was overwhelmed with the amount of caffeine. Yeah.
This is one I don't know that I drink enough. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I like peppermint tea, so, and there's a little bit of caffeine in there, but I don't know that my body reacts strongly to caffeine. I think I can, like, I had a coffee last night at the movies, and
and you went to bed after?
I went to a late movie, 9:30 movie, 2.5 hour movie, and I fell asleep just fine after, so.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Do I have a low threshold for pain? I don't know. I am kind of a baby if I have a little ache. Maybe I'm not a baby, but I am one to be like, oh, my belly hurts or something.
Yeah. Like if I get a stomach ache, like a good old fashioned stomach ache, I feel like I can't function. I've actually had a pain. I think I pulled a muscle under my ribs from coughing from having a cold for the last week. And I think I pulled a muscle, and it's been hard to breathe and it hurts. So I haven't taken anything for it though.
There you go. So you have a higher threshold.
Yeah.
Do I tend to socially isolate? Yes.
If I need to, yeah.
No, I like being at home. I'm such a homebody. I am so much more happy alone at home, like puttering around the house, organizing things, reading a book.
See, I don't know, I think I like the big adventures, like obviously I like traveling, or let's go for a hike today, or I'm going to go down for a rollerblade, but I guess those are all solitary things. So,
yeah, you just like being out in nature.
Yes, wow, I just had a realization there. I like isolate. I like doing solitary things, but yeah, honestly, I often go rollerblading by myself. It's either me or I have a friend that I go rollerblading with every now and then, but normally I'm just heading down there by myself because I enjoy going by myself.
And being outside.
Yeah. So do I socially? Oh my gosh. Yes, I like being social, but I do enjoy doing things by myself. And I think COVID, and like going through everything I went through in the last 1.5 years and the spiritual awakening made me appreciate that alone time. And now I really just love it. Mm-hmm. But if I'm inside the house, I go a little stir crazy. Like I cannot come home Friday and be in the house until Monday morning when I go back to work. I need to get outside. Yeah. Whether that's like hike. And some people are totally fine being inside, but I can't. I need to be outside. So yes. Wow. Wow. Just had a huge realization there. Mind blown.
Do I absorb other people's stress, emotions, or symptoms?
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
Yes, like 100%. And then like I'm starting to learn to not take it personally.
Mhm.
But like when someone is stressed or angry or upset, I used to, and maybe still kind of do, have a hard time not feeling like I'm to blame.
That's your ego. You should meditate on that.
Yes. Yes.
Do I absorb? Yeah, I definitely do absorb other people's stress, emotions, or sympathies. I have learned though, like through different meditation techniques and aura protections and whatnot, how to kind of block out other people's energies, which has been really helpful. And with certain people, I realized that I've been doing it for a very, very long time, unintentionally, like without realizing that I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then with other people, since I recognize these strategies, I've realized oh my gosh, I can't speak. I've realized how to block out those energies. So it's really helped. But I definitely pick up on it. Like I could be sitting beside a friend and they're not showing that they're anxious, but I'll ask like, are you feeling a little off right now? Are you feeling a little anxious?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, because so.
Yeah. Am I overwhelmed by multitasking, and do I prefer to do one thing at a time? Yeah, I don't like multitasking.
I have always been a multitasker, but I'm realizing it doesn't really get you anywhere.
Yes, no, exactly. I've always multitasked, but I don't think it's the most productive way to accomplish things.
No.
Yeah, no, my brain can't handle it. I get so overwhelmed with multitasking now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to make a checklist and literally just go one by one.
Yes. Oh, the checklist. I'm all about the checklist.
Yes.
Good old fashioned checklist. There's something so satisfying with just
crossing things off.
Yeah, crossing it off.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. Do I replenish myself in nature? Yes. Apparently you do.
Apparently I do by myself.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think I like to do that as well. I love going on hikes or walking by the lake or literally just spending time outside on my deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being in the trees.
Oh,
yeah,
so
I love
important.
it.
Honestly, it's so important. I went out east this summer, as you know.
Eastern Canada.
Eastern Canada, yes, Eastern Canada. Did a little road trip, and I camped the whole way to save money. And I came back, and I feel like I had like such a rush from living in nature for 2 weeks that like after that I couldn't wait to go again. And I still have not gone camping since August. But I really want to go. Like, I really want to try winter camping because I just have this strong desire to be
back out in nature. Physically got recharged.
Yeah.
By being in nature.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's like an inner high. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. Natural high.
A natural high, but very deep within my soul. I don't know. I loved it. I love it.
It was a recharge for the soul.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Okay, the next one is, do I need a long time to recuperate after being with difficult people or energy vampires?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And now that I've recognized this, I'll often call Nicole and talk it out with her because now I can recognize my own feelings, my own emotions, where they're coming from, and now I have someone to talk to about it.
Yeah. Which is really nice. And like, I don't feel bad taking that time for myself after being with energy vampires. No. I know that I need it to recharge.
Mm-hmm. And I'm even at the point now where if I know that somebody's an energy vampire, I will decline invitations or decide not to spend time with them.
Yeah, like learning how to deal with energy vampires is learning how to say no.
Which is a big thing. And that doesn't mean that I decline every invitation or avoid everyone, because I don't think avoidance is a very healthy strategy either. No. But it's just knowing maybe I'm at my peak that week in terms of energy or whatnot, and just knowing when to say no, and allowing it to be okay.
Yeah. Do I feel better in small towns or the country rather than large cities?
Small towns.
Yep. We grew up in a small town. We grew up on 10 acres. We love having the space. We love being in a rural versus an urban area. We're about an hour away from Toronto, and And I feel like every time we go into the city for a concert or like going to see a musical, shopping, whatever, I feel so drained after being there.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
It's just a lot.
The hustle and bustle and
everything's fast.
People, having so many people around you, and everything is so fast paced.
Yeah. That's not to say we're country bumpkins. Like, we fit in just fine. But we're drained.
Yeah.
We're just
so drained.
Yeah.
Do I prefer one-to-one interactions and small groups to large gatherings? I don't know. I do love a good party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the excitement of getting together with people. However, I do want the next day to recuperate after that.
Yes.
But like, I also love my smaller gatherings and one-on-one time with other people.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I would agree. The large gatherings are really nice and like the energy you get from them, but you do need that recoup time. And yeah, I think one-on-one interaction is important. And I really appreciate my friends who we just hang out for the sake of hanging out, just to be in each other's company. And it's really simple. And we just make, I wouldn't say small talk, but like easy talk or genuine, sincere conversation we make. And then we can just sit there, watch a movie, or just work on projects that we're working on, or do our work, like whatever. Just being in someone's company is really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
so those are all of the self-assessment questions. So now's the time to calculate your results. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping track. So if you answered yes to 1 to 5 questions, you're at least a partial empath. If you answered yes to 6 to 10 questions, you have moderate empath tendencies. If you answered yes to 11 to 15 questions, you have strong empath tendencies. And if you answered yes to more than 15 questions, then you are a full-blown empath. So congratulations if that's you.
So we're kind of up there.
Yeah, I think we're up there. I haven't calculated it. But yeah, I think we can like pretty much identify with almost all of them. There were definitely a few that we said no, but
and obviously this isn't a professional diagnosis. Like we're using a book written by a professional.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've had other friends read this book as well and self-identify as this. I've also, an interesting thing that I've heard a lot lately, a lot of it on social media, and I've read into it a little bit, is the idea that if you're an empath, it's due to trauma.
Yeah.
So I want to learn more about that, but I think that's something we should probably discuss.
Yeah, I'm very interested. And now every time I notice myself feeling overwhelmed with emotion, I'm like, oh my God, is that a trauma response? Is this something I need to delve deeper into? I don't know. So that's something we want to look into more, do some research on, and then probably have a separate podcast episode on. But yeah, I hope you guys felt that this episode was beneficial. If you are maybe questioning if you are an empath,
definitely pick up Judith Orloff's book, The Empath's Survival Guide. We'll add this in the show notes so that if you're interested in purchasing it, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I think you can find it anywhere where books are sold.
Yeah,
I think I bought this off of Indigo, if not Amazon. I don't know. It's been forever, but I've definitely seen it in local bookstores, so you could probably find it everywhere. Yeah, definitely my Bible.
Yes, it's been very good. Very well loved. Very well passed around, that book.
Yeah. So please reach out to us if you have any questions or comments. You can follow us on Instagram at sisterhood_of_healing. And if you have any topics you would like to hear about, please reach out to us. Honestly, we love hearing from you guys. We love your support.
We're also on TikTok. We're learning how to navigate TikTok.
We are.
So if you decide to follow us on TikTok, it's also the Sisterhood of Healing. We're a little TikTok technically challenged right now, so bear with us. Bear with us as we learn. But we're really stoked to kind of take on that adventure.
So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon, sisters.
Have a good week, sisters. That's it for our show today. Thanks for joining. Remember, you can always reach out to us on our socials, on Instagram at sisterhood_of_healing, or on TikTok at Sisterhood of Healing. We love to hear from you, so please reach out to us at any time. Thank you for journeying with us today. We'll see you next time.